So the Hawkeye initiative had some talentless artists go through comic book art and try to depict Hawkeye in the same position that women were being depicted, in a way to show how ridiculous comic book art is. But the ridiculous part is to feminize a male character, and it's also ridiculous to masculinize a female character. Like, for example, we notice in The Last of Us just how ridiculous Abby looks with those, like, big bulging arms and that square jaw, broad shoulders. These characters look like caricatures. And unfortunately, this is what we get in the Western companies with their depiction of women. The reason it's looking so bad is because they are masculinizing the characters. And it doesn't look appealing, right? Because all of this fashion comes after hundreds of years of people experimenting with what works and what doesn't. Now, it's interesting that in comic books, you do have shirtless men. You do have men with bulging muscles, and the same muscle mass would not look good on a female character. But if for some reason they don't talk about that, or when they do talk about that, they say, well, yeah, but it's a male power fantasy. And the rebuttal is like, why are men so comfortable with you getting rid of? Like, if you were to make a poll, I bet that more men would be comfortable with getting rid of shirtless men in media if you were to give them the boobie back. Right? Because apparently the male power fantasy is about saving the pretty girl. It's not about being shirtless. But of course, comic books was a medium that focused on sex and violence because that's what sold. And now you don't get either. Like, that's what's interesting. If you read the She-Hulk comic, there's a lot of talking going on, like very, very little action. And, well, you guys know how the She-Hulk comic looks like, so we're not even going to go there. But yeah, it was definitely a straw man argument, and they never talked about Goku appearing shirtless or, in certain positions that male superheroes have that wouldn't look charitable on female superheroes. Like, you wouldn't want a female character to look like Zangief or to behave like Zangief. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, another interesting aspect is how quickly they run out of material, because despite the fact that in comic books, even at the time, you had a lot of sexy female superheroes doing all these interesting poses, it was usually on the cover. Like, in the panels, there weren't that many, which is why they ran out of material so fast, again, showing just how weak that argument was. And of course, nothing in the comics is supposed to be realistic. I don't think, like, at any point did the artists say that they're trying to imitate realism. Like, no, they were just trying to have what looks cool. And for some reason, that was never the rebuttal. Like, they never made the point that, well, if it looks cool to sell. Like, you're asking people for their money. And, they see reality and average people on the street every day. Why would they pay for that? But yeah, for some reason that argument was never made. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.